So Trevor, let's start. We're expecting a little bit of an interest rate cut again. How's that going to affect mortgage rates?
Yeah, typically what we see is the market kind of builds these rate cuts in. So the market is already expecting about a 0.25% decrease in the Fed funds rate. So really, we don't expect big things to happen in the mortgage interest rate market today.
It's not going to get back to where we've seen it maybe, before the pandemic.
Right. I mean, being in that 3%, 2.5%, 3.5% range, whether that happens in our lifetime again, no one knows.
As we head into looking at 2025, talk about demand. What are we expecting there?
Yeah, demand is really affected by two things: supply and the mortgage interest rate. We've seen this year supply has increased a little bit. That allows more homes for people to choose from.
Okay.
So that increases demand as people are able to go out and go, hey, we can look at a bunch of different homes. The other thing that really affects it is affordability, mortgage interest rates. That is a massive impact on people's ability to purchase it.
Talk about that, because what are we seeing, what is popular right now as folks are, tightening their budgets? They might not have a lot to spend, but we also know rent prices are through the roof.
That's right. Rent has accelerated far more than income. So we've seen that impact on rent versus buy. You can run calculators as an agent, as a mortgage professional, and say, hey, what is your net worth going to be if you keep paying rent versus owning a home? It always pegs better for owning a home. So as rent continues to go up, as home prices continue to go up, you're seeing the affordability of both get tougher and tougher.
Yeah.
But long term, owning a home is one of the key indicators for long-term wealth.
Yeah, and so is there more of a demand at this time then for the smaller homes that are more affordable for folks?
Yeah, we're seeing a real shift. The bust of, let's call it 2007, 2008, where people were like able to afford these gigantic McMansions, as we call them. We're seeing more of a move to tidier homes and to tiny homes. So we're seeing people live very efficiently. Home ownership is important. People value that. People value having their own space. People value that long-term wealth and financial appreciation. And so they're kind of getting in where they can fit in, so to speak. They're willing to get a smaller home and live a little more tidy in order to actually be able to afford rather than go out and spend on a gigantic, lavish home.
Sure, it makes sense. Are there certain areas of the valley that you are seeing, this is the place to buy, or this is the place that's going to be ridiculously expensive?
You know what's been really interesting about this last kind of year and a half? We have seen different areas bubble up and pop, bubble up and pop. And so it's really hard to kind of predict or pin an area of the valley that is really, really affordable right now. I mean, one that pops in my head is the far west valley, Buckeye. We've seen kind of a general trend. There's like a lot of supply, and prices have been steady or dropped a little bit. So a little bit of a buyer's market in the Buckeye area right now.
Very good. Trevor, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
We could talk about this for a long time.
All day.
So we appreciate your advice. Again, Trevor Halpern.